All right, example 5, find the volume of the composite figure. So basically for this, it's a little hard to see from the picture, but this part is like a hole, all right? So like we're gonna find the volume of the cylinder, all right? We're gonna find the, maybe I should write that out. We'll find volume of cylinder, okay? We will find the volume of that whole part is a hemisphere. It's half of a sphere. We'll find kind of that hole, that dip, and we will subtract. So that's going to be our overall process. So let's look at step 1, finding the volume of the cylinder. All right, and maybe I'll like color code it too, volume of cylinder. All right, volume formula for a cylinder, base times height. The base of a cylinder is a circle, so I'm going to go ahead and change that to pi r squared. The radius of my cylinder is 2. The height of my cylinder is also 2. So pi times 2 squared times 2. So that is going to be 8 pi, right? 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2, yep. So my cylinder is 8 pi. That's the volume of my cylinder. All right, now we need to find the volume of the hemisphere. I'll do blue for that. Hemisphere. So basically for that, you are going to find a sphere and divide it by 2 because a hemisphere is half a sphere. So here's my volume formula for a sphere, 4/3 pi r cubed. The radius for my sphere is 2. 2 cubed is 8. All right, so I'm doing all that. That gives me 10 2/3 pi. 10 2/3 pi. Right? Yeah, because 2 to the third, this is a 3. 2 to the third is 8. 8 times 4/3, I get 10 2/3. Now that would be the volume of a whole sphere. We only have a hemisphere, so we need to take half of that, divide by 2. So half of 10 is 5, half of 2/3 is 1/3. So that's my hemisphere. Okay, right here. So that's step 2. Step 3, we subtract. So we take 8 pi, that was our cylinder, 8 pi minus 5 1/3 pi. All right, and that gives me 2 2/3 pi inches cubed. And you can multiply it out if you want to, but that's kind of the general process. That's my final answer. I'll highlight it. We found the cylinder, we found the sphere and divided it by 2 to get the hemisphere, and we subtracted. All right? If you need to pause and rewind, you always can do so. Okay, 6. All right, Raphael has decided to fill. I thought about skipping this question, but then with everyone being in marine team and aquariums and whatnot, I thought, I should probably do it. So Raphael decided to fill his aquarium with water. His aquarium measures 14 inches by 26 inches, and he needs a height of 10 inches. So let's, okay. He's going to fill it up with a cup, a cylindrical cup. All right, so part A, to the nearest inch, how many cubic inches of water does the cup hold? So part A, I'm on highlighter. All right, part A. Okay, sorry about that. We had to take a little pause for Gemma. All right, part A, to the nearest inch, how many cubic inches does the cup hold? So the cup is a cylinder. So the volume of a cylinder is base times height, but remember the base of a cylinder is a circle, so pi r squared times h. And let's see, what do we know about this cup? He's going to fill it with a right cylindrical cup. It has a diameter of 2, so that means the radius is 1 and a height of 10. So let's plug that in. Pi times 1 squared times the height is 10. So that is basically 10 pi. Or it says to the nearest inch. So that would be 31.4. And to the nearest inch, I'm going to say 31 cubic inches for part A is the volume of the cup. All right, that's part A. Part B. How many cubic inches are needed to fill the aquarium? So the aquarium is a prism and it's 14 by 26 inches. And he needs it to be 10 inches high of water for his fish turtle friends. Anyway, so the volume of a prism, we're doing base times height. Remember, B is the area of the base, so 26 times 14. And then the height is 10. You plug that whole thing into your, and I am getting 3,640 cubic inches. So that is my answer for part B, the aquarium. Part C, if he is going to fill up his cup, and this is kind of like when I see you all in the in the staff area filling up those buckets with water and then pushing them on the cart, how many trips is he going to need to make back and forth? So basically, you need to figure out how many little buckets you're going to divide. So we're going to do 3,640 divided by 31. All right, and I am getting 117. Ooh, there's a lot of trips, 0.4. So now thinking about trips, you might think 0.4, we should round down. But if he only does 117 trips, no big deal, right? He'll be a little short of water. So that would actually be 118 trips. Did we do something wrong on this question? That seems like an insane amount of trips. The cylinder, is something wrong with that? Right. All right, number 7. All right, so Elena inherited 3 spherical gold beads from her grandmother. They had a radii of 2 meters, 3 meters, and 4 meters. So again, if you think about it, she's got these little gold beads, small, medium, large. It's like the 3 bears or something, Goldilocks, 2 millimeters. Okay, 3 millimeters are 4 millimeters. She wanted to melt them all together and get one large sphere and figure out the radius for this. So, all right, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to find the volume of each bead, add them, and then work backwards and find the radius. All right, so for the small one, all right, volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So I'm doing 4/3 pi times 2 cubed. All right, and that, if I put all that in, 8 times 4/3, I think we used those numbers earlier, 10 and 2/3 pi. Okay, millimeters cubed. Then take a minute, see if you can do the 3 and the 4. Same thing, volume 4/3 pi r cubed, but now I'm using 3 as my radius. Plugging all that in. I'm going to circle this just so I don't get lost. And you should be getting 36 pi for the medium. All right, and then lastly for the large, the 4 millimeter one, we have 4/3 pi r cubed. We're using 4 as our radius. And I am getting for that 85 pi. 85 and 1/3. I knew it got cut off a little bit there. Okay. All right, so those are all my volumes. All right, I'm going to add those 3 together. So I'm adding 10 and 2/3 plus 36 plus 85 and 1/3. And look, those 2/3 and 1/3 are going to make such a nice number. So the total volume of all 3 is 132 pi. So that's like the volume of gold she has to deal with, to work with. But the question, we want to know what the radius of this new massive gold spherical bead would be. So we're going to work backwards. So volume is 4/3 pi r cubed. We're going to put in that new volume, 132 pi, over here for V, and we're going to solve. So we can get rid of a pi on each side. Then let's divide by 4/3. So we're doing 132 divided by 4/3, and that gives you 99. Then to get rid of a cube, a 3, you have to take the cube root, which depending on what calculator you use, it's different keys. You can email me or whatnot if you need help. So the radius is 4.6, and the question says it would be closest. What would it be closest to? 5. Whew, all that work for 5. So we found the volume of each individual bead. We used 4/3 pi r cubed 3 times with 2, 3, and 4 as our radius. We added those together to get 132 pi. We put that into our volume formula. We worked backwards to find our radius, and we rounded to 5. All right, last question. Find the area. So lots of different ways you could do this. This is another composite shape. So I would break it up into shapes you know. So this rectangle here, the green striped one, is 6 by 9. 6 times 9, I get 54 square feet. This little square red polka dots right here, well, we'll see if it's a square. It's 3 feet. We need to find this. So let's think about, we know from here to here is 9. We know the whole thing is 12. 9 plus 3 is 12, so actually that is a square. So that is 9 square feet, that little part. Then the last part we have is this little wedge right here. So it's a circle sector with a right angle. So I'm going to do m over 360 pi r squared. The m is 90 because it's a right angle. My radius is also 3. You also could do the whole area of a circle, pi r squared, pi times 3 squared, and divide by 4. That's basically the same thing. And you get 7.07 feet. And the last thing I need to do is add all 3 parts, 54 plus 9 plus 0.07. I'm getting 70.07 feet squared because this is area. All right, so the homework will be up 1 through 21, 23 through 26, 28, 29, 37. Our summary: what is a sphere? What is the formula for surface area? What is a great circle? What is a hemisphere? Okay, that black sentence, what is a hemisphere? And then lastly, what is the volume formula for a sphere? Hooray, we're done with chapter 11.